I'm interested in exploring whether your child has been experiencing problems with anxiety, nerves, or worries. Children experience these symptoms in their own way. In general, would you describe Michael as a worrier, overly sensitive, shy, or perfectionistic?
Yeah, he tends to worry a lot.
Okay. So, thinking about separation, would you say that Michael has distress when separating from you?
A little bit. He used to be much worse.
Okay,
It's getting
not so
better.
bad. So, like an example would be if you're gonna leave him with the babysitter, you're gonna go out. What's that like for him?
He'll ask me where I'm going, lots of details, but he'll be able to stay with the babysitter.
Okay. Would you say that he worries about something bad happening to you or his dad?
No, he never mentioned anything like that.
Okay. What about something happening to him, like getting lost or stolen, being in an accident, or having an illness that will cause separation from you or from his dad?
No, not really. He didn't mention it.
Okay. Is he reluctant to go places because he's worried about being away from you, like school?
He's sometimes reluctant to go to school, and I'm not sure if that's the reason.
Okay. And do you generally get him to go to school?
Yeah.
Is he able to go? Okay.
Yeah.
Does he ever refuse and has to stay home?
He complains of being sick sometimes, but we insist that he goes to school.
Okay. What about in the household? Is reluctant to be alone on his own, like in his room or in any other part of the house or the apartment? If
No.
somebody else, no. Okay. What about sleeping? Does he have trouble sleeping away from home or going to sleep without being near somebody else, like you or his dad?
He doesn't do sleepovers, but he could stay with grandparents or.
Okay. And what about, how does he sleep at night? Does he have to sleep with one of you guys? Will you have to stay with him to get to sleep? Or
No,
can he go to sleep on his own?
He goes to sleep on his own.
Okay. Does he ever have bad dreams about being separated from you, being taken away from you, or something bad happening to him or her?
He has bad dreams, but he never tells me the content.
Okay.
I don't know if he remembers.
Okay, and how often does he have bad dreams?
Once in a while, I don't know.
Okay.
Once.
But he's never said to you that the bad dream is about something bad happening to you or something bad being separated from you?
No.
Okay. Does he often complain about being sick, headaches, stomach aches, nausea, when there's a separation anticipated, like he's going somewhere or you're going somewhere?
Only when he goes to school, and I'm not sure if that's because of separating from me.
Okay, and is it like a big complaint or is it just a little bit of a complaint and you just kind of move him along and he's okay?
Yeah, it's like a little bit, and then.
Okay, and how regularly does that happen?
I think it's mostly if he anticipates like a test or something, or a cycle of the test, but if something stressful will happen at school.
Okay, so how often?
Like every 2 weeks, maybe.
Okay, all right, but generally he goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you describe Michael as a worrier?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Does he need to be constantly reassured about things if he's worrying about something?
Yes.
Okay, so if he asks you about something, are you able to kind of give him an answer to explain why it's not an issue and he's okay with it, or will he keep coming back to you asking questions?
No, he's okay for a bit and then he comes back.
Okay. Would you say that he has difficulty controlling his worries? So once he starts worrying about something, is it hard for him to stop?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. When he's worrying about things, would you say that he seems restless, kind of more keyed up or on edge?
He's generally restless, but yes, I think he's more restless when he's worried.
Okay, so it's worse when he's worrying about something. Again, when he's worrying about something, would you say that he seems more tired than usually, is more easily fatigued?
Maybe.
Maybe, okay. So it's a bit hard to tell, all right. In general, does he seem tired and fatigued? Or generally is his energy level pretty good?
He's pretty good, usually.
Okay.
In the morning, he's a bit tired.
But once he gets going, he's generally fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it ever seem as though, particularly in a situation where he's worried about things, that it seems like his mind goes blank?
Yes.
Okay.
complained about it.
Okay, like at school or where was it?
Yeah,
At school. Okay. Again, while in situations when he's worrying about something, does he seem more grouchy? Is he more kind of grumpy, prone to anger?
No, not really.
No? Okay. When worrying about things, does he seem to complain more about muscle pains, aches, soreness?
No.
Okay. And have you ever noticed when he's worrying about things that he has difficulty falling asleep?
Yes, definitely in general, and I think it's because he worries.
Okay. Okay. How long does it take him to fall asleep?
About an hour.
Oh, always?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it worse when he's worrying about things?
Well, he always worries about things in the evening.
Okay. All right. So when he's trying to get to sleep, is he asking things to you? Is he kind of talking about his day, asking questions?
Yeah, and anticipating. What if tomorrow this happens? What if tomorrow, this kind of.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask you if he's ever had what we would call a panic attack. So, has there ever been a time when, out of the blue, 1 second. Okay. Does Michael ever get really scary feelings like something terrible is about to happen, or times when he complains of his heart racing, like he's going to have a heart attack, or he feels like he's going to faint?
No, he never says that he's gonna have a heart attack. If he's anxious about something, he can work himself up.
Okay, so in response to a scary situation?
Yeah, or something that he's like starts worrying about, and then he kind of can't control it. So, but I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Does this ever happen out of the blue when there's not something kind of anxious that he's worrying about happening?
No.
No. Okay. So it's never happened when it's only ever happened when there was something coming up that he was nervous about or he was worried about. Okay, so it's never happened out of the blue. Okay. Has Michael ever had excessive worries about social situations?
He doesn't like presentations.
Okay. So does he worry that other people might kind of criticize him, or that he might be embarrassed?
A little bit. He's a bit shy.
Okay. Is he able to get up and do presentations?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So although he's a little bit nervous about it, he can get up in front of the class and do it?
Yeah.
What about other kinds of social situations like trying a new sport or trying a new team?
He's a bit anxious, but he's okay, and initially he'd be more quiet.
Okay, but he's actually able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, and once he's done it is he generally able to continue and go back? Okay. Okay. Is there anything that he is really afraid of? I can give you some examples. Can you think of anything he's really afraid of?
Monsters in his bed.
Okay. Monsters in his bed. Okay, so he's got some fears about when he goes to sleep, that kind of thing. But other kinds of things out in the world, like dogs, bees, snakes, heights, animals, clowns, storms, the dark.
He can get worried about anything, but nothing specific.
Nothing major. Oh, nothing specific. Okay, not one thing at a time. Okay. Has Michael ever had thoughts or fears that repeatedly come into his head that he cannot stop or won't go away? Some examples might be worrying about germs, or that something bad is going to happen to somebody.
When he's anxious, he tends to kind of get fixated on things that he's anxious about.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
And is it the exact same idea about how somebody is going to be harmed or something bad is going to happen to them?
No, it's usually different things.
Okay. Has he ever said to you that there's sort of either pictures or words that keep coming into his head that he can't get out of his head?
No.
Or that he's repeating over and over again?
No.
Has he ever had things that he felt like he needed to do over and over again in a certain way? So washing his hands, checking the locks, counting things a certain way, doing things in a certain order? No. Okay. Would you say that Michael has difficulty throwing things away? That he kind of keeps things that he doesn't need for too long?
No, he doesn't throw things away, but I don't know that it's because it's difficult for him.
Okay. Like, does he keep things he doesn't need?
Just-
Like old papers or garbage or wrappers or like broken toys and
It's
things
just
that you're like,
messy.
okay. But if you suggested he throw things away, would he be fine with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So have you ever noticed any tics? Does he have any repeated motions that you've noticed? So common tics might be blinking or making facial grimaces. Sometimes people make kind of a mouth stretching nose or a mouth stretching motion, or scrunching their nose, blinking. No? Okay. Any vocal kinds of tics? So that might include clearing their throat, sniffing, sometimes grunting, making kind of high-pitched noises, clicking sounds.
No.
No? Okay. Does he have any movements such as shaking or waving his hands, flicking or fluttering his fingers, perhaps in front of his face?
No.
No? Like moving his body in a certain way, hitting his own body, banging his head, slapping his face, rocking or banging his head? No. Okay. Does he have any difficulty with wetting the bed?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, so how often?
Maybe twice a week.
Okay. And has this been going on for at least 3 months?
Oh yeah, he's just never kind of learned
Okay.
to fully stay dry.
All right. And ever during the day or only at night?
Only at night.
Okay. What about soiling? Any difficulty with that?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to shift a little bit, and I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about Michael's mood. Would you say he's generally a pretty kind of happy kind of guy, generally in a pretty good mood, or would you say that he's more kind of sad or grumpy or irritable?
No, he's mostly happy.
Okay. Has he ever experienced a period of time when it felt like he was in a down mood or a grumpy, irritable mood for like a long period of time, like a full day or several days in a row?
No.
Okay. So if something happens and he gets a bit grumpy, would you say it's fairly kind of short-lived?
Yeah. Probably several hours is the most.
Okay. And overall, if you were to say what percentage of time he is in a kind of neutral or good mood versus in a mood where he's feeling sad, mad, or grumpy, what percentage would you give to the kind of neutral or kind of good mood versus the sad, mad, and grumpy?
80%.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's it for this section. We're going to move on to the next section in a video. Oh, actually, I moved too fast. There's one more section. Ah, yes. There we go. So, has there ever been a time when Michael's mood seemed really good? So that he seemed really, really happy, like he was on top of the mood, like at top of the world, in a better mood than normal?
No. I
No.
mean, he's usually in a good mood and he's pretty happy, but no.
Okay. That there's never been a time when you thought maybe he was manic or that he was like really was his mood seemed strangely elevated?
No.
No. Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay. So this is the end of this section. I just forgot about the mania there for a moment. One of the things I will say is that in the mood section there, we start with persistent depressive disorder. And it's not listed as a prompt, but generally when you're thinking about mood in kids, particularly persistent depressive disorder, but any kind of mood, anchoring it with regards to what degree of time they are more mad, sad, or grumpy can be helpful. In this case, it didn't really seem like he was moody, so I threw that in. I probably normally wouldn't have because she really wasn't describing mood. But if a parent is describing some symptoms of mood low mood, irritability, or grumpiness. Getting them to anchor it into what percentage of time the individual feels that way can be helpful, because when kids are feeling more sad, mad, and grumpy than not is when we really kind of start to pull things apart and get more information. So it can be a good reference point for deciding if you need to go on. And in this case, actually, I probably didn't need that because she really wasn't giving me anything that sounded particularly concerning, but I gave you an example there for that. Also, there were a number of places where I quickly could move on because really they weren't meeting the primary criterion. So in those cases, like specific phobia, I did the A criteria, but I didn't continue because they didn't have any major fears. So I will go on and rate all of those items as not present because they don't meet criteria.